We're here with Cody. Thank you, Cody.
Thanks.
All right, we're here with Gabby and Ewan, and we're gonna ask them a little bit about toxic masculinity. What's your experience with toxic masculinity?
I think the first thing I can think of will be looking down on women and expecting something in return from women, and have certain expectation about, more about the worldview, how it's supposed to be when there's, no evidence to support it.
What do you think of when you hear toxic masculinity?
That it's a problem. That it's a problem.
What do you think, bro?
Douchebags.
Douchebags.
Yeah. Am I okay to say that?
Yeah, you can swear. It's fine.
Perfect. Guys that kind of think they're all that.
Yeah.
Impose their beliefs on you, Like they just they're very vocal and very aggressive.
Right. You imagine like a, get loud at the gym, talking shit.
Yeah. Chatting shit, judgmental.
Okay.
Sort of that kind of thing.
Oh, and then let's flip it. So, what's your experience with toxic femininity?
Oh, jeez. That's, can you elaborate what that really means?
Sure. So, you could imagine toxic masculinity is like an extreme form of masculinity, really extreme traits, where instead of assertiveness becomes aggression, right? And femininity, it could be because feminine is more it's more receptive.
Yeah.
So, toxic femininity could be more like expectations about receiving, or receiving too much, and not having boundaries around what you're receiving.
Okay, you have a example so I can articulate that?
Sure. So you could imagine a guy being toxic by being aggressive with people, and that could be in the form of wanting to fight others. And then toxic femininity could be being so open to other people that you put yourself at risk.
Okay. Yeah. So, my thought on that would be the boundary issue, because it's about receiving, and that being said, the boundary will be the concrete foundation in femininity. So without that, then other people can take advantage out of it.
Okay, so then let's do the flip side, and Gabby, this might be interesting for you. What's your experience with toxic femininity?
Thinking that they deserve everything just because they're a girl and they're pretty.
Cool. Because some people there's a discussion around toxic masculinity, and there's always this retort that's what about toxic femininity? And some people don't acknowledge that. I mean, do you have any experience with that?
Not really, but I've seen that happen before, and that's kind of where the toxic masculinity comes into play, because they'll see all these about women's rights and stuff because it's an issue, and they're like, oh, what about us?
Right.
Where's our National Men's Day? Where's our all that shit?
Right. Apparently there is an International Men's Day.
There is,
apparently.
but no one cares.
Right.
Because it's not an issue, because men don't have the same problems within society that women do.
Cool.
Right? So.
Cool. Have you heard of Jordan Peterson before?
Yeah, I have.
Sweet. Jordan Peterson says that the cure to toxic masculinity is responsible masculinity. What are your thoughts on that?
Responsible masculinity. What does that entail?
Right. I mean, I'm kind of curious. What do you imagine when you hear responsible masculinity?
Well, I think just doing everything that traditional masculinity would do with responsibility in the back of the mind. I think that's my thought on that. Instead of doing it one way, and if it doesn't work, then keep pushing through it, and you're doing it in a way that you're understanding the other side of the story, and then you change the approach to it to make it happen.
Okay, cool. So there's a bit of give and take there, right? There's more of a balance, it sounds, with responsible masculinity.
Well, that sounds to me, yeah.
So Jordan Peterson said that the cure to toxic masculinity is responsible masculinity. What do you think of that idea?
I don't know.
What would responsible masculinity look like? Well,
that's a good question.
What is that?
Right. I mean, you'd have to clearly define both of those, I guess, right? To know what toxic is and what isn't toxic.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not really clear, right? It's kind of interesting.
There's two ends of the spectrum, and you kind of just want to fall dead center.
Do you mean spectrum? You mean femininity, masculinity, and landing in the middle there?
Yeah.
Having a healthy balance between the two?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's interesting.
It's everything in moderation. You can't have a perfect world, nothing's gonna be, you know, there's always gonna be issues.
Right.
But I don't know. I kind of just want to be neutral with it all.
Right. Okay, that's it.
Sweet.
Thank you guys.
No problem.
Awesome. That's all for today. Thanks,
All right.
Cody.
Thank you, Luke.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, Matt.